everybody. I know you've all been asking for those high protein pancakes, so we decided we're going to go ahead and do it. So I want to show you can make these real fast. We got a bunch of stuff out here real quickly. You can see we have chia seed. We have some raw almonds. Your favorite protein powder. I use the Nitro Fusion. I like that. This is vanilla. You could also use any of the, the berry flavored. You could also use like a chocolate whey protein powder, something like that. We got some free-range organic eggs. We're using buckwheat pancake mix. Buckwheat's a real good one because it's actually like it's more like a seed than it is just a grain. And then we have blueberries, and we have some nice fresh picked blueberries here. They're frozen now. And you could also use, if you don't like the real big, super huge blueberries in your pancakes, you could go with the wild blueberries, the real small ones. I think I skipped over oatmeal, and some cinnamon. So those are all the ingredients together. We're gonna throw this together and make a real cool recipe. Some high protein, high fiber pancakes, and basically we have 2 scoops of the Nitro Fusion powder that we're gonna add to the batter. And I like to mix the batter in my my Ninja blender. It goes a lot faster. You could also use a food processor or the mixing bowl, but I like the ingredients to be kind of smooth, especially with the oats, so they're not big coarse pieces there. And chop that up. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw in 2 scoops of the Nitro Fusion protein powder in the blender. And each scoop is adding about 25 grams of protein. So and depending on what protein powder you use, that'll obviously change a bit. And for our oatmeal, we're gonna throw in, what did I have on there? 1/2 cup of oatmeal. So we'll just measure that out real quick. So we got 1/2 cup. There we go. It helps when you don't read it backwards. There you go. Alright, so we got 1/2 cup oatmeal. Throw that in there. We have 1 ounce of raw almonds. This is also where you're going to want to use something to chop it up. If you don't want to throw whole almonds in your mixing, or you're going to bite into a crunch there. So for the buckwheat pancake mix, we're going to throw in 2 cups. We still got a ways to go. Alright, add some more. Now, this mix is obviously not 1 pancake. So this should make at least 8 servings, maybe more, depending on how much water you use and how carefully you're measuring, obviously. So we want to make sure that we're keeping everything real accurate so we get the right serving sizes there. And I like this Ninja because I can actually throw all this in at once, and the same with it's almost like a food processor, and it'll blend that all right up. Also, we'll add some chia seeds so we can really jump the fiber and the protein, and we have a lot of omega-3s in there, so that's going to be really good too. So for the chia, we're going to throw in 1/4 cup of chia. So that's a lot. That's a lot of chia offhand to eat, but that's going to be divided up pretty nice with the recipe, so you'll get a good chunk of fiber in each one. A nice thing about these pancakes too is you don't necessarily have to eat them all at once. You can throw those in the fridge, and you can warm them up later in the microwave. So the next day for breakfast, something like that. And we're also going to throw in 4 egg whites. So obviously, if we throw the yolks in, we're gonna raise the fat content, the cholesterol a little bit. So you don't necessarily need to toss out the yolks. You can save them for some other recipes and things. You got a lot of vitamins in there as well, and it's okay on occasion too, depending where your cholesterol is at and stuff, to throw in a couple, of the whole eggs too. So we're gonna go ahead and we'll do this little handy dandy strainer thing is really nice. jumping up a little bit. That's all right. Gonna make it taste a lot better. And I believe that's 4. Did I count them? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, good. All right, so we have 4 egg whites. Now you could obviously, if you wanted to make these even more, higher in protein, the egg whites got a lot of protein there, so you could definitely add a little bit more there. But obviously, you just have to account for the extra calories there. These are gonna help make the pancakes nice and fluffy. So we'll add that to our mixture. We're going to save the blueberries for last because we don't want to blend those up. We want to actually, it will turn our batter blue, and so they'll look pretty cool, but we want to get the taste of each blueberry there. And we're going to just kind of add cinnamon, usually about a teaspoon to even up to a tablespoon of cinnamon, so you can throw quite a bit of that in there. Nice thing about cinnamon is cinnamon actually helps stabilize blood sugar. So when you're eating the pancakes, there's already a little bit of carbs in there and whatnot. Cinnamon is really good at helping stabilize blood sugar, so that's a great ingredient. And usually you need quite a bit of cinnamon to get that effect, so we don't want to just kind of dab it in there. You can throw quite a bit of that in there. Obviously not so much that it's overkill there. So once we have the main ingredients in, we're going to go ahead and add some water, and then we'll puree that up so it's nice and smooth. And then we'll add our blueberries, throw them on the skillet, and go ahead and start cooking those up. Now, I did throw out a couple extra ingredients here. Now, these are more for the special treat days. If you wanted to include most of the same base ingredients, the protein powder, the oatmeal, the buckwheat, you could also do like a chocolate pancake. And again, we have to be careful. We don't want to throw too much in there, but you could do some dark chocolate chips, and you could also throw in a little bit of cocoa. Instead of sweetening it with sugar or a lot of maple syrup or anything like that, we could even use a little bit of xylitol or stevia, something like that, to sweeten that up without really raising the glycemic index too much of the pancake. So then we'll add some water, and the water we're usually about 2 cups or so. And actually, let me just measure that out to make sure I don't go too much over here. But you'll wanna add water depending on how well that mixture thickens up. If you need to go a little less or a little bit more with the water, that's not going to change the calories at all. So we're going to throw in about 2 cups, and then let's go ahead and puree that up and see where we're at. Yeah, I love this thing. It's great. You haven't seen it? You got to get one of these. These are great. So I can hear it's getting a little thick there. So I'm going to add just a little bit more water. So you can see right now the consistency is pretty close to pancake consistency there. That's not too bad. We might be good. Let me just give it a couple more buzzes. So we don't want to make them too watery. You don't want it to be too dry or too watery there. So that's just a little thick, but not bad. I mean, that's a pretty good consistency there. I'm going to add just a little bit more water because I just like them to be just a little softer. But I think we're about ready to go ahead and make some pancakes there. So we'll see you in a second over at the frying pan. Alright, so we're over at the frying pan. We got our batter mix. We're ready to go. That makes quite a few servings there. And usually I like to start the pan up a little bit ahead of time so we get that warmed up. We don't want that to be too hot so we don't burn the pancakes, just medium temperature there. And we have a few different things we could use. We were using a Teflon pan so that, not sticking very well, but it's okay to use a little bit of, I like to use the virgin coconut oil for cooking. It has a very high viscosity to the heat, so it isn't going to be damaged by the cooking. You could also use one of the little pump or the spray bottles for your for keeping that there nice and oiled up. But one thing just to be cautious of, just make sure that you're using an oil that isn't going to smoke a lot, and you also want to make sure that you're watching for the trans fat if you're buying one of the commercial labels. This is one where you can actually add your own oil, but if you're buying one of the commercial sprays, just be careful that there's not a lot of trans fat on there in the back. Or let's say 0 trans fat. That's best, yeah, there. So I'm going to put just a little bit of coconut oil. I don't want to use a lot in there, but just enough to kind of coat the bottom of the pan. And just going to move that around a little bit so that our pancake is cooking nice in there. So now remember, if you're adding coconut oil, those are fat calories. So on occasion, if you're cooking with oil, you got to make sure that you don't just say, oh, stir fry. If you're using water or whatever, you want to make sure you add some of those calories in to each pancake there. And I'm just going to pour in a nice decent amount of batter. And then I'm just going to move that around a little bit. Now I forgot to throw my blueberries in the batter, so that's alright, it's not too late. I'm just going to throw a few on top. Now if we're going by the recipe, we would go with about a cup of blueberries for the whole recipe. So there we go. Alright, so what we're looking for is, those of you who are like pancake connoisseurs there, are looking for the bubbles, the illustrious bubbles, when the pancake starts to bubble. Oh, there's one. See that? There's another one. That means we're getting time to flip. Pretty close. See, there's another one. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. We're looking for the bubbles. The bubbles are the sign. Slow cooking pancake. You don't be afraid to check your bottom sometimes. Ooh, that's getting firm pretty good there. See that? Ooh, look at that. Ooh, that looks good. Can both flip it without making a mess. Let's see here. Boy, this spatula's flippy. Oh, look at that. Ooh. Wow. Nice. Now, doesn't that look yummy? And it's thick. The sucker is thick. Now, each one of these pancakes, roughly, if we divided up the servings here, we're going to end up with about 263 calories per pancake. That's about 1/8 for the recipe. So this should make about roughly 8 pancakes or so. That's 29 carbs, 29 good carbs. We got a lot of fiber in there. Remember, of that carbs, we have to also account for the dietary fiber, which is usually where we're using insoluble fiber. So that's carbs that are indigestible. Then we have 15 grams of protein and 7.7 grams of fat, plus whatever we threw in for the coconut oil. So we have to keep that in mind as well. So these are looking good. It looks like they're cooking through good here. Let's check out the bottom on here. And notice we didn't have to coat anything there with the oil. With the Teflon, we used just that little bit from the beginning there. I think that's probably less than half, probably about half a teaspoon maybe, if that. Alright, I think this one's ready to go. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? Blueberry pancake. Alright, who's going to be the first one to try it out?
Alright, Bo. You're making one right there. I'm going to try out. Your pancake here.
Alrighty.
It's super nutrient dense mega pancake. It looks really good. This is good for you? That's very nice.
Yeah? And that's without even any maple syrup or anything on it.
And that one bite feels a lot more filling than a standard pancake. Like, you know, the consistency, like what it feels like as in your mouth and going down, you can really feel that there's some good stuff to that.
Doesn't just feel like empty flour.
No, not
Nice.
empty flour. It's very good.